Our NC Capitol team has been digging into the newly passed state budget, which doesn't sound as fun as it actually is. It's hundreds of pages. That's fun, right? But we're looking at the details for you. WRAL's Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie joins us live now from the Legislative Building with what you've been finding. Laura, you found a big increase in spending on school vouchers, $56 million next year.
That's right, Dan. The state's Opportunity Scholarship Program is going to expand by, almost half under this budget. This program, you might remember, was created some years ago to help lower income families pay for private school. But it's now been expanded so much that this year, a family of four making more than $100,000 will still be eligible for one of these scholarships. Students can receive up to about $6,000 a year in tuition.
Now, we've done a lot of reporting on the Leandro plan. WRAL produced a documentary on the entire saga of this and the argument over school funding. Right now, the case is at the state Supreme Court level. Was this addressed in the budget?
Legislative leaders have insisted for decades now that the courts cannot force them to spend money, and this year was no exception. The Leandro plan would have called for legislators to spend about an additional $1 billion this year on K-12 schools. But education advocates say the budget, as it stands, only accounts for about half of that.
It's been a strange year. It's been a strange couple of years. When you look at the budget, was there any big increases in spending? Where did you see those, and were there any surprises?
Well, they put billions of dollars into various reserves, so that's probably the biggest increase, so to speak. But if we're looking particularly at state agencies, transportation saw the biggest boost, 14% more spending than last year. That's huge. And they even took some of the sales tax revenue and put it into the transportation funding, which is basically admitting that the state's gas tax is simply not meeting the needs for building roads and repairing them.
Now, it's always a great accomplishment when lawmakers can agree on a budget like this, but it has to go to the governor, and the governor has to sign it. Do you believe that he will?
Well, that's a really good question. I mean, there's a lot of things in here that he liked, but there's a lot of things that aren't in here that he wanted to see, like Medicaid expansion and bigger raises for state employees and teachers. But it's still got a lot of Democratic votes. So if he vetoes it, that could be risky for an override. Now, if he doesn't want to sign it, he can allow it to become law without his signature. That's how it works here in North Carolina. And he has until Monday night at midnight to make up his mind.
Okay. All right. We'll wait and see what happens. Laura Leslie reporting live for us. Thanks, Laura.